Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How often?
I'm Fern.
Oh.
This is a building that's reminiscent of the 1840s, and I think it's going to give you some great information about your family.
Okay.
Would you like to come in?
Yes, please. Oh, this is very special, isn't it?
It's a stunning space.
Yeah. You see, I'm hunting down my great-great-grandfather, who was living in London for several years, and he lived with a woman and got 4 children with her. And I wonder, is it nearby something like this or what?
It's nearby to something like this. This is a very beautiful house to us, but it would have been similar to the sort of lodging houses that lower working class families or families who didn't have very much money would have stayed in with other families. They would have had maybe 2 or 3 rooms to themselves. It's a part of the East End that is quite run down, and this is the most ravaged by disease, by terrible hygiene and by poverty. And this is one of the certificates that I want to show you. This is the certificate.
Certificate copy of an entry of death. Well, who died here? Who is this death certificate for?
This is the death certificate of William, who is the son of John and Mary.
Okay. I didn't see William in the census, did I?
No, he would have been gone because 3 weeks later he was dead.
Yeah.
No, he was dead 3 weeks before the census.
So actually he had 5 children.
Yes.
Yes.
We can see that he has stuck by Mary throughout this whole time. And through such a dramatic shift in circumstances, there must have been real love there to stay with Mary when they are living in one of the worst parts of London, when they have 4 kids to support and have gone through the death of a child. He must have really loved her, and that is one of the happy parts that we can find in this story, even though it does seem to be very dark at the moment.
Yeah. After being a consumer of women and a very selfish man, he finally seems to have found love. That's very good to hear.
Good.
That he finally grew up and took responsibility of his own life and of his wife and children's life. That's very nice information to have.
It says an awful lot about the sort of man that he was.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. It would be nice to hear something nice about him too, you know, because I heard so much stuff that really, you know. But what happens next? I really, it's very exciting to find out.
We have, a couple of years later, another tragedy actually befalling the family, which is in 1843.
Yes. In 1843, then his wife dies. Poor kids, poor him.
Yeah. And her husband is present at her death, so we know that they're still together. We know that the family has stayed together. And she dies of a morbid affliction of the brain. That could mean a couple of things. It's a very old-fashioned diagnosis, but what we believe it to mean now is something that's quite sudden. So she's kind of snatched away from them quite quickly. A lot of the diseases that happen in Victorian London might take quite a while to kill you. It's very hard, very sad life. But Mary seems to have been taken.
Yeah, and then he is alone.
Yes.
Again.
So it's a huge shift in circumstances from how he was in Norway to his life now in London.
It's hard to compare them. I mean, it's a huge fall, or what we should call it. Yeah.
And the worry then is, how does a man in his 60s, who is in very difficult circumstances, support a family of 4 children, young children, that are going to need to be provided for? because London isn't a very safe or tender place at this time. It's not a welfare state. There's no provisions really for you, especially if you're not local.
Because from Norway, I've learned to know him as a very creative, very successful, and very, in many ways, powerful man who makes his way and nothing seems to stop him.
Yeah.
So this is rather...
it's a big come down.
Yeah, it's a big come down. Well, it's a sad story, but with some warming elements to it, from my point of view, because I was giving up, you know, his character at least. Yeah. So now it would be very, very interesting to find out how he ends up and what happens when his wife dies, which is really bad.